So let's jump into FL Studio so that I can show you what an arpeggio is and how we can use it in our productions. So here we are in FL Studio. The first thing that I'm going to do is launch a synth or a plugin, a piano, so that I can exemplify what we are talking about. Let's go with this Yamaha C7. So let's put this at maybe 90. It's a good BPM. And let's make first a chord. So I will start by putting these in C minor. It's okay. And let's do a chord. So this is C minor, the C minor chord. And as you can see, this is just a combination of several notes. So a chord is a combination of several notes played together. But if you played this same chord, instead of playing the notes all together, if you played with a little bit of space between them, that's what we call arpeggio. So to transform this chord into an arpeggio, what I would do is do something like this. And I could even repeat this. So usually when we talk about arpeggios, we talk about repeating notes constantly. So this would be something like this. And for instance, we could actually, so we started with a C minor chord. We could now go to, for instance, D sharp major. And we could do the same thing. So we could just move these ones here. And for instance, this one, since we have two together, I could move it here and then repeat the process. And maybe remove that one. Or maybe go here. I think this one sounds better. As you can see, we can control, basically we can transform our chords into arpeggios by doing this, by breaking the chord into small notes or smaller notes, and then move them around so that we can make this going up. We could also do going down. So we could do something like this. And these ones, let's see, go here and go here, 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 and so on. As you can see, we can go up, we can go down, and we could actually do both. For instance, we could do arpeggio where we do something like this. So we go down and we go up, or we could go up and go down. And as you can see, we can pretty much do whatever we feel like in terms of creativity to make our arpeggios. We can go down, up, we can mix both, and something like that. And basically what I like to do when I do arpeggios is I take a chord progression, I make a chord progression, and then I do an arpeggiation of that chord, if that's a word. And there's several ways to do chord arpeggios. One of them, I think there's a tool here to create arpeggios. Let me see. Yeah, Arpeggiate. So let's take all of these out and let's see if the Arpeggiate gives us something. It does not give us something. So what we have to do is create, for instance, chords like that. Let's go. So this is the chord that we have. Let's do the arpeggiate with Alt-A. That should be the shortcut. And as you can see, created a sequence for us. This is a little bit faster, but we can control the speed that we have. This was what I did, and we can control the length of the notes. We can make them slower, we can make them faster. It actually sounds cool with some effects there. But as you can see, this can help us have a little bit more control over the piano, the arpeggiation, and it can really help us speed up our process, because if we already have a chord progression, we can just copy and paste and bring this tool to create an arpeggiator. And as you can see here, we have the pattern, which is a default. We could change the pattern that we want. We could go, let's see, translate. Let me see this one. This actually sounds cool. I could use this preset to do some type of techno stuff or techno melodies. So as you can see, this is a cool way to make arpeggio notes. There's also another way that we could bring. Let me see here. I think there is here some arpeggiator here, as you can see. So if I play a note, if I activate the arpeggiator, we can see direction up, down. We can go up, down, and bounce. We can go up, down, streaky, and then you will probably have to see what these two mean. And then we have here randoms. I think this one streaks. It makes a selection, and it doesn't go up that limit, or up and down limit. So let's now click on the note, and let's go something like this. As you can see now, it's doing an arpeggiation of just a single note that I'm clicking. And we could also do some different chords. Let's go with major. Could do something like that. Let's go, for instance, with minor. And as you can see, we have this one here sharp instead of we have the D, the F flat instead of the F, compared with the major, of course. And as you can see, we can speed up the arpeggiation. So let's do, actually this is going slower. We can go faster like this. And we can also go down. Let's go to a range of 2. Okay, let's go now for up and down. And then this one. So as you can see, this restricts a little bit of the notes. So now if I play a chord, it goes a little bit crazy, but let's do this in auto. So what this is doing is basically taking the chord that I'm playing and doing the same thing that I did, but in 2 octaves. If I do in 1 octave, let's do a little bit slower. This is basically what I was playing. I was taking the chord of C minor, and I was doing the same thing. So you can also play around here with arpeggiator inside of the range or the miscellaneous functions in the sampler or in the virtual instrument that you have, or you can play them in the as MIDI in the piano roll. So those are the 2 ways, or some of the ways. There are several ways, like I've been telling you guys. That's one of the reasons I love FL Studio, is that you can do the same thing in very different ways and have the same result, and go through different ways to achieve the same result. And that's why FL Studio is so powerful. I think the other DAWs also have this tool, but or this way of doing things. But I found FL Studio to be one of the DAWs that gives me more ways to do the same thing, and I really appreciate that, because it helps me to to discover always new things.